All right, welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has announced the new two-tier rate structure, simplifying GST in our country and giving a major Diwali bonanza. The new tax structure will be effective from, the 22nd of September and provides a sweeping rate cuts on essentials, electronics, cars and several other daily goods. The Prime Minister has hailed these GST reforms, saying that it has relieved people from multiple taxes and will play a double role in India's growth story as well. And to talk more about this, we have someone special joining us. Jayen Mehta, MD of Amul, is also with us on the program. Mr. Mehta, appreciate you taking out the time and speaking to us. Well, to begin with, there are a lot of concessions in terms of GST. In fact, from GST to nil, I should say. These are not even concessions. In fact, this is a complete omission of the tax now. Ultra high temperature milk is reduced from 5% to nil. GST on paneer is to nil. Butter, ghee, dairy spreads, cheese, condensed milk, milk-based beverages will attract 5% from 12%, and of course a host of other goodies like ice cream, good news for children, will be at 5% from 12%. What do you make of these reforms? A lot of people, a lot of naysayers are saying that it's too little, too late. What is your opinion, sir?
No, I think it's a very fantastic development for the dairy sector as a whole, because milk is the largest agricultural crop of our country. And more importantly, dairy and milk constitute the single largest element of expenditure in every single household of the country across all categories of expenditure. I'm not just talking as a part of food, as a part of our overall consumption basket. So if you put money in hands of the producer and consumer simultaneously through such a measure, it will definitely benefit both ends of the spectrum. And that's why it's a very, very historic move. Let me tell you, if you look at the data of the sales tax era to the GST and the post-VAT era, this is perhaps the lowest level of taxation our country has ever seen. And that's why I'm saying it's a very, very historic move. We welcome this development and actually thank our Honorable Prime Minister for this initiative of supporting both the producers and consumers of our country.
And sir, of course, you're absolutely right. And it's a significant tax rationalization in that it will not only benefit the industry, but there are 8 crore farmers in our country, sir, who are affiliated with the dairy segment. It will do wonders for them.
Absolutely, yes. And this is why we are hailing this. Two other things we need to look at it in this industry, that the people are moving from loose and unbranded to package and branded products, and where you are able to actually reduce the difference or actually make it nil as far as loose and unbranded and package is concerned, or put a very minimal 5% GST on it, which actually compensates the input tax you pay on the inputs therein. It actually provides a big fillip to the organized sector. And once the organized sector develops, and cooperatives like us, under the new initiative of the Ministry of Cooperation, we are expanding the base of cooperatives across the country under White Revolution 2.0. The GST 2.0 will actually give a fillip to this particular movement. So we are seeing a very concerted action by the government on all these fronts, which is really helping both, as you rightly mentioned, 80 million producer families of the country, 8 crore families who are part of India's dairy milk revolution, and of course 1.4 billion consumers.
So India is the largest producer of milk. I think in 23-24 alone, we were responsible for producing somewhere around 240 million tons of milk. The Outlook also wanted to suggest that this taxation, or rather lowering this taxation, sir, will also help with operational costs and something that the industry has been plagued with, which is adulteration. Do you concur, sir?
I agree with you. That's why I said that if you are reducing the difference between unorganized and organized, or loose and packaged and branded, this is one benefit we are going to see. I'll cite the example of ghee. Ghee has always had a VAT or GST of about 12%. Okay, and you would see that the unscrupulous players would actually evade the tax net and get into the market and thereby also encouraging adulteration, because there is a huge 12% markup between the legitimate stuff you do and the other business that you do without the GST. With the reduction of GST from 12 to 5, you are actually reducing that incentive for them to bypass the official channels. And more importantly, the organized and branded players get a good level playing field, and thereby they are able to serve the consumers with a better quality product with at a lower price, and thereby give a fillip to the market growth as much as the benefit to the producer through a better volume in the market. So that's why this is one very, very significant achievement this GST reform will bring in to the organized sector for the dairy industry in the country.
So one last question before we let you go. What do you think this will do to the consumption patterns in our country? And let's not forget the timing of this. It's come at a very opportune time. We are entering into the festive season, sir.
This benefit is not just short term, it's going to be pretty long term. For the simple reason that there is still a lot of headway for growth in most of the dairy product categories that this GST reform is going to address to. Citing the example of ice cream, where GST is reduced from 18 to 5%, which means a straight 10% or 12% benefit you can give to the consumers. Now in India, the per capita ice cream consumption is about 5 cups per person in a year, which is 500 ml or so, as compared to developed countries where ice cream consumption is as high as 15 to 20 liters per person per year. So you can see that ice cream, which was always looked upon as a premium luxury product, will suddenly become a mass item. And of course, when you give good quality product, the consumption will grow because the price will be very, very competitive. So this is the kind of opportunity we see both in ice creams, we see in butter, where only 10% odd penetration is there in the category. Cheese is about 5 to 7% penetration in the category. So as you rightly mentioned, the production of milk in the country is growing. India today contributes to 1/4 of the total milk in the world. In 10 years, it's going to be 1/3 of the total milk in the world. And if along with fresh milk, dahi, buttermilk, the beverages, the ice cream, the butter, the cheese, ghee, paneer, khoa, mithai, all these segments grow, you can imagine what kind of a powerhouse our country will be in terms of consumption of this very nutritious product category.
You're absolutely right, sir. Powerhouse is the way to define it, and I'm sure with these cuts, Amul is going to be a lot busier than ever before. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out the time and speaking with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.